Hello everyone, Stanley here and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be going on my adventure of surviving over 2,300 days in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This adventure started back in June of 2020 and we've been playing on here ever since, basically every single day. I haven't recorded every single second of this journey, so I don't have an exact time that I've been playing in this world, but I know it's somewhere around 2,300 days, which is like many hours. It's a long time. In that time, we've gone on countless adventures, completed many different projects, built all the different farms, and become extremely overpowered in basically every way that we could desire. It's been a very fun adventure, so I hope you enjoy seeing what happened after 2,300 days in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Starting at day -1, because there's no daylight cycle in the nether, we spawned in the nether a little bit disheveled looking, not quite our normal selves, and of course this is a pre-nether update by about a week, so we need to find some materials to get a nether portal and get out of here before we die to all of the dangers of the nether. Because there isn't really much in the nether, we have to make some stew out of various mushrooms, or eat rotten flesh from my piglin brothers, and then basically find a bunch of obsidian in the nether fortress and find our way to the overworld. It takes about an hour and 20 minutes of painstaking slowness, of hiding away from the mobs, running away from starvation, and finally we get ourselves a nether portal to the overworld. Now that we're safely in the overworld, we can actually relax for a little bit. So I settle down and get myself some very basic gear, start punching some trees, making a crafting table, and basically immediately go into the caves to get some iron gear. That's basically the first thing I do in any new world, is just immediately go mining, get some resources, get some armor, and get some tools. I am not a fan of stone or wooden tools. Those go straight into fire immediately. After that, I decide to never ever use diamond things on this world because I'm gonna be using netherite. I'm gonna skip completely over diamond. I'm kind of a weird person when it comes to armor. After that, we settle down in the spawn town and pick a spot to base. Everyone is only choosing a 16 by 16 area to settle down in, and that offers an interesting challenge. Slightly after that, we get ourselves a mending villager within literally 10 seconds of trying to get mending from him, so we are well on our way to a powerful set of armor and weapons. A little bit of time later, I've done some AFK fishing and some enchanting and overall just general grinding, so now we have some enchanted tools, weapons, and a nice bow to our name. But if we want to get more overpowered, we need a great source of experience, and that is where guardian farms come in. We build the quickest and speediest guardian farm known to piggo-kind, and this thing basically allows the guardians to instantly spawn and immediately go to the nether. You kill them with some splash potions and you get a ton of experience extremely quickly. Overall, it was a super easy build process, and we even captured one of the elder guardians to deliver it to a friend's base and prank them with mining fatigue. Then I had to take a little bit of a vacation, but now my fellow Minecrafters are far ahead of me, and as you can see, they've built many things in a very short amount of time. I really wasn't away for that long. So now we need to play some catch up and start building some amazing things of our own. My plan is to make a huge modern skyscraper, the biggest skyscraper in all of town, and we're gonna fill that up with basically every single type of modern farm that there is. However, we can't get to that quite now because, of course, you know, these things take time, but we are gonna be installing some wolf farms, a chicken farm, the AFK fish farm, and we're also gonna be starting the slime farm that's going down below this as well. It's gonna be very functional before it ever looks decorated and completed. Now that we have a full guardian farm and the base is becoming underway, it is time to get overpowered and fully protected. We go and do a bunch of netherite bed bombing in the nether while just wearing gold armor. Again, I'm not wearing any form of diamond throughout this entire series, just using one diamond pickaxe to break the ancient debris, and that is my only exception. So we make a couple of huge 200 block long tunnels using the bed bombing, find ourselves a bunch of ancient debris, and now we have a full set of netherite armor, tools, and weapons. In order to get easy enchantments for all of our netherite gear, we set up a very basic villager trading hall using villager curing to get every single type of enchantment book and get them for very cheap prices. We also map out a design for our skyscraper in a creative world. Now that we have all the tools and resources we need, it is time to start building some more farms. So we get the slime farm installed at the bottom of the skyscraper, along with a couple of cactus farms, because we actually need a bunch of cyan dye. I didn't just build a cactus farm for no reason. No, I actually needed the dye, unlike most everyone else who builds a cactus farm on the entire planet. We now have all the resources that we need to build the entirety of the skyscraper, so we throw that thing up within just a couple of Minecraft days, and overall it is looking really, really good. It's made out of a ton of concrete, blackstone, and cyan glass, along with just a bunch of other materials as well. Overall, this is my first time building a modern build, let alone a skyscraper, and overall I think it turned out pretty decently. This is still a farming tower after all, so we install a one chunk iron farm at the very top of the tower. This thing is going to produce hundreds of iron per hour, enough materials for us to do all kinds of other technical projects, and this is going to fuel basically everything that we do in the early game. Once the iron farm is installed, we have enough materials to start building in more floors to the tower, which will fill with more farms as we carry on, but we also install a teeny tiny mob farm in the tower as well, just kind of to be silly and also to get a small amount of gunpowder for rockets and other necessary materials. And now it's time for some quality of life builds. So we install an auto smelter at the bottom of the base, get some bamboo farms, sugarcane farms, and a couple of kelp farms installed too. Now it's time to change it up a little bit. So we hold a skin vote to let the community decide what skin I should wear for the Nether update, and we'll see the results of that a little bit later on. We also try to build a new auto storage system type. However, these things are very complicated and really do my head in. I'm not a very smart person, so we kind of fail at that and just decide to build an old school storage system for multi-item sorting of every block and item that we have in the game so far. After the sadness of the storage system failing completely, we took a break from the tower and decided to finish up the skin vote. I am now a brand new piggo with a shiny new face. I'm looking gorgeous if I do say so myself, and we also decided to upgrade the villager trading hall to something a little bit more permanent and easier to use. We decided to start our first ever farming area in the world and find an area in the Nether perfect for all kinds of farming. Has all the different biomes that we need, so we raid a bastion and find some pick step, and we also find an area for a really good overpowered piglin trading hall. This thing produces over 2 million items per hour. Because this thing produces over 2 million items per hour, we kind of have to circle back to storage technology, and I tried to design a new type of storage system that can handle over 2 million items an hour. I designed so many prototypes in a creative world to try and figure out how to do this, and it's not really that easy. There's a lot of Bedrock Edition bugs that prevent you from doing some nice things, so we decided to use some temporary storage for the moment, and instead head over to our friend Zloy's area and help him design a new type of farm. Using a bunch of gas, you can auto-destroy blocks for a tree farm, and this was also an extreme pain. If you've ever wrangled ghasts in survival, then you know the pain of getting 9 of them out of the Nether. Ghasts are rude. However, we were eventually successful in creating the Ghast Blaster 9000, capturing 9 ghasts and using them to fully AFK and fully automatically farm trees using a tree farm. With that little project behind us, I decided it's a good idea to get a bunch of backup gear, so we go back to the nether mines and we find the best way to get a bunch of netherite. We got over 2 stacks of netherite in 1 hour using like half a shulker box of TNT. It was a lot of TNT, a lot of explosions, but it's definitely worth your time to use TNT. Beds are great, but TNT is just like, chef's kiss. It's time to face my fears back at the Piggo Trader and design a new type of million item storage system. This time, we do find a proper solution, and it's just a lot of item sorters. Yep, just a whole lot of sorters. Like 300 item sorters stacked on top of each other. That was the solution. You know how long this took me to figure out? It was way too simple. We got the rest of the storage installed. It's seriously a lot of sorting and a lot of storage, but because this thing produces 2 million items an hour, it gets filled up really, really quickly. We decide to decorate the rest of the area and make it absolutely not ugly, and then we design a potion brewer to turn all of these short fire resistance potions into longer versions, and now we have like 3,000 fire resistance potions, and I still, to this day, do not know what to do with that. What do you do with 3,000 fire potions? You don't do anything with 3,000 fire potions. You just let them sit in a chest because you can then brag about having 3,000 potions. And now we're finally done with the Piglin Trader. We decide to head back to the Gas Blaster and upgrade that with a fungus farm, and that means that we need to get more ghasts from the Nether. Dang it! The Gas Blaster is now fully completed by installing a basalt module and an auto concrete converting and breaking module. This area now uses 9 gas to automatically farm concrete, basalt, fungus, and the 5 different tree types. Overall, it is pretty impressive for so much pain. So much pain went into putting this thing together. It was a lot of pain. After another mini vacation from the server, the Piggo is back, and some weird nether stuff has popped up around the spawn town. We got some weird crimson fungus trees, and it's kind of sneaking into the base as well. We reached 300,000 subscribers on the channel, which is still a crazy thing to say, and we built a miniature flex beacon out of all of our netherite blocks just because, well, it's a netherite beacon. It's a flex no matter how much netherite you have. It is now Christmas Day! Merry Christmas, everyone! We plan out our yearly goals for the future year of 2021, including wanting to launch more fan servers for the community, do more community-oriented activities, and hopefully reach 500,000 subscribers on the channel. By the way, if you've watched this far into the video, then clearly you are enjoying the content, and you should consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos, and then you'll also be helping us reach 500,000 by the end of 2021. It turns out all that nethery stuff that popped up around World Spawn has also been showing up other places on the server as well, at basically everyone's base. So we get together with an emergency meeting and we go explore all the different infected areas. It turns out Tom is also infected himself, and my little flex beacon is kind of backfired and also exploded into a bunch of nethery structures as well. I did actually remove the entire nether structure and left the beacon there, went to sleep, and then it came back like literally the next day. So I had to remove my little flex beacon. I just can't have nice things, can I? Zloy takes the opportunity at the group meeting to recruit me for a favor. He needs me to protect his bank and all of his diamonds within the bank from being stolen. But I kind of get blackmailed into robbing his bank instead because, you know, every vault has some form of weakness, and I am so technically inclined that I definitely know how to rob a vault. Our little motley crew completely fails to come up with a group solution to get everybody into the vault, so we all break in individually, only to realize that somebody got there before us and there was never any diamonds to steal to begin with. Running away from the very, very angry Zloy that's chasing us with a flip-flop, we go back to the Guardian farm we built way at the beginning of this little adventure, and it's time to upgrade that bad boy. We design a brand new Guardian farm from scratch and start installing that immediately. We get a pretty huge upgrade on the graphics front and get an RTX 3090 for ray tracing. Everything is so shiny now. The Guardian farm is now functionally complete, allowing us to either send Guardians instantly to the Nether or kill them in AFK for a long time in the overworld. Either way, this thing gets us hundreds of levels of experience, and our new farming area and main base is ready to begin construction. We decide on a new build palette for the main base, and construction of the quad iron farms is now underway. We get all 4 iron farm shells installed, and then we start putting the villagers in place as well. Have I mentioned how much I hate villagers? Because now seems like a great time. We find out that all 4 of the iron farms are built entirely off center, and we need to rebuild all 4 of them completely and entirely. This is why I hate villagers. Why are they so much pain? Why can't we have nice things? It takes a very long time, lots of tears, and lots of efforts, but the iron farms are now being rebuilt, and all of the villagers are being reinstalled as well. Since the villagers are being so rude, and honestly I'm quite fed up with them, we decide to move underwater and install 2 gigantic kelp farms. Using flying machines, we can auto-harvest the nearly 50 block long farms and get thousands of kelp every single harvest. We have 2 of these giant farms to the north and south of the Guardian farm, and this is one of the foundations of our new base. It's time to make some small updates to the kelp farms and make sure they're running at peak efficiency, and do a couple other small things around the area too. While we're doing that, we discover that the iron farms are still broken because villagers are just the most pain. After a lot of troubleshooting, we rebuild the villages and move all of the villagers a couple of times to solve the issues. We now have all 4 of the iron farms fully functional. It turns out all the pain and suffering of building 4 iron farms was completely worth it. We are now getting over 1,200 iron per hour from these 4 small farms, and we also go ahead and decide to build a small scale model of the base as well. This 1/16th scale model helps us plan out where everything is going to be laid out, where all of the future areas and farms are going to be, and it gives us an idea of what needs to be done. A new Minecraft update is upon us, and with this update comes some things that have broken and just some general mechanic changes. So we gotta go back to our slime farm and update that thing just a little bit, and we also need to go update our piglin bartering farm to handle new types of loot like blackstone and arrows. Overall, everything new is just garbage. They took away our netherite hoe farming, and they gave us blackstone renewably. So, I mean, I guess we got some profits out of it. Blackstone is basically the best block in the game. Becoming overpowered is completely easy now, and we discover the best and easiest way to fight wither bosses without any form of trapment or bedrock or anything like that. We wipe out 14 wither bosses by hand without really any issues at all. Praised be thy resistance to beacons. Seriously, resistance to beacons are like the nicest thing on the planet. With a total of 16 beacons installed around the farming area, it is now time to install more farms. So we installed 2 huge bamboo farms right underneath the water's surface. Yeah, underwater bamboo, underwater redstone. Who thought that was a good idea? I, for some reason, did. These basically work the exact same way as the kelp farms, but they're drier and more bamboo-y. Our previous adventure with the bank heist has some unforeseen consequences that I wasn't looking forward to. Zloy's now getting sued by all of his clients for losing their diamonds, and he now owes over a stack of diamond blocks to Dadcraft. Ouch. The Guardian Farm farming base gets expanded upwards a ton by building a new squid farm for lots of bone, fish, and ink. The ink is going to be used for a bunch of dark prismarine to expand the base even further, and a squid farm sounds relatively simple, doesn't it? But a lot of brain thinking goes into where exactly to put it for the optimal usage with the rest of the base and maximum efficiency. It's kind of a complicated project. We also start building a larger scale model, this time a 1/4 scale, and this allows us to plan out even in more detail where future things are gonna go and how future things will be decorated. Now that the squid farm is installed, we can start installing the 2 massive mob farms to either side as well. This is one of the main farms of the base, and this is going to be providing us with a ton of gunpowder, bones, string, and most importantly, experience as well. Now we can actually fly around the server without going bankrupt from having to buy gunpowder and rockets. This entire season, I've been struggling with not having gunpowder, but finally, we have a mob farm to our name, and it even uses looting 3, so we get a ton of items from this thing. The final touches have been added to the mob farms and squid farm, along with the first real additions of decoration to the base. Huge helixes and circles are marked out using temporary blocks around the Guardian farm, and overall, the foundations of the decoration are looking pretty decent. We have a very long way to go, but this is a pretty good start. Even more decoration gets added to the base, this time absolutely gigantic spirals get added to the top of the base, connecting all the iron farms to the squid farm. The helixes are fully marked out, going from the guardian farm to the squid farm, and another large circle is built going all the way around the entire base. Now it's just time to figure out some small decoration details. The base is not quite done yet. Another large area is being built underneath the ocean monument as well for additional contraptions, technical projects, and storage. Our adventure is just beginning with this area, and we have so much more work to do. And now you're fully caught up on the events of my Truly Bedrock Season 2 series. I've made 41 episodes and 110 live streams from this season. I've been a little bit inconsistent at times, so really it should be a lot more, but that also doesn't really factor in the offline and off-camera play. But in total, it equals about 2,376 days of time played on the Truly Bedrock Season 2 server. For this video, I had to cut down so many different things and cut out a lot of different projects and shenanigans and jokes and just funny bits and bobs from across the entire series. So if you want to catch up on more things from the series, then of course the Truly Bedrock Season 2 playlist will be linked down below. You can skim through the episodes, and also throughout this entire video you can notice in the upper left there was an episode counter. So if something caught your eye, you can go directly to that episode and check it out in more detail. But that is pretty much it. Thank you ever so much for watching this video, and happy April Fools, everyone. I hope that you have greatly enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. It really does help out the video and the channel a ton. Consider subscribing to help us reach 500,000. And otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section. And in the next one, thank you so very much for watching. And then there was silence.